I'm fine as well. So let's discuss the chapter 7 today. Maybe we will be only you and me today, but anyway, we will discuss the chapter. And it was really not very difficult chapter this time. So maybe we will do it faster than usual. So how did you like it? Just your general impression.
What about this chapter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was interesting as the rest of those chapters we read
Mm-hmm.
before, and
Yes.
sometimes it is hard to understand when they try to explain me some examples of
Mm-hmm.
acting
Ah,
with monies, with
yes.
purchase and so on. I sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
confuses me, and I just try to guess what happened, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try to find out carefully what exactly happened. Also, I met such uh, CD. It is, it is
CD.
ob- it is obviously he's not talking about compact discs,
Yes.
but
Yes.
Google didn't help me to find out what exactly is.
Yes. I have found out what does it mean, and I forgot something like залоговые сертификаты, certificate of, по-моему, залоговый сертификат переводится, as far as I remember. So some kind of investment.
Some kind of
Some
valuable papers or
Yes, some kind of valuable document that will bring you money or something like that. Yes, it was. You can understand from the context, but the precise translation is, as far as I remember, залоговый сертификат or something like that.
also
Certificate of something.
also
Yes.
as it always happens. The most I like the part at the beginning. He told us about
Yes.
Texans. He told us about some their sayings, which are positive and bright, and so I like those expressions, and I made some
Mhm.
notes in my notebook, and
Mhm.
uh,
Okay.
most of them are useful. And for
Uh-huh.
I because I'm as a learner, I want to
Mhm.
me to find and to know more new expressions and so on.
Mhm. Yes. Some useful sayings and expressions. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Uh, in the previous chapters, Robert told us about the importance of being financially literate, and in this chapter, as you remember, so he said that even if you are financially literate, you may face some obstacles or roadblocks to becoming financially independent. And he told us about 5 obstacles: fear of losing, doubts, laziness, bad habits, and again, arrogance. There is a mistake. Here it will be arrogance, the last obstacle. Okay, let's talk about fear of losing. Is it a problem to have fear of losing? What do you think? Is it a problem or not to have this fear of losing
Well,
money?
in this case, Robert says us the fear it is one of the most
Mm-hmm.
serious problems, because everybody don't want to lose money. And Robert says
Uh-huh.
I act uh, not due to lose money. I act because it helps me to do something, and we don't have to deny fear, but we have to manage it.
Yes.
We have to understand that that fear is able to paralyze us, and in this case, we can do anything. We can't do anything at all. And later, he told us many examples when people fear something. Told us a story about a little chicken
Yes.
who always is afraid. He is in panic, and it is like some kind of fable, либо басня какая-то типа, or a fairy tale, something. So we usually meet fears in our life, in our daily life, but we
Yes.
have to manage with this. We don't have to be like a victim of this fear. Sometimes bad things didn't happen, but we didn't try to do something. We didn't learn. Let's back to those Texans. They made all their losers in inspiration.
Inspiration.
And in this case, it makes sense. I like this part because sometimes it is hard to define to be brave and to be reckless. And sometimes it is obvious to define where is difference, but sometimes not. And I liked it. And sometimes it is useful to think about it, to observe people around you, to think about their actions, and also to think about your own actions. But sometimes you stay very carefully. You don't do any risky actions, but maybe you lose some opportunities, and you don't even see that you lose something. You close your
Yes.
eyes. Your daily routine is such repetitive, maybe. You every day do the same, and you just even don't know what happens in your life.
Yes, and I like this idea that he said that to have fear of losing, to have this fear is not a problem, but it's a problem. It's a problem if you don't handle it, if you don't manage this fear, and that is the problem. But to have the fear of losing, everybody has this fear, and it's not a problem. So also, yes, as you said, why it is very dangerous if the person has the fear of losing and doesn't handle it. That is the problem, because he will miss the opportunities. He will not use the opportunities, and therefore it is dangerous to have this fear and not handle it, not manage this fear. So how to manage the fear of losing, how to manage this, how to handle this fear. And even if you have it, and everybody has this fear, how to handle it.
Well, as we discussed before, as we realized before, fear it is a natural thing. Everybody has
Yes.
some fears, and the main idea is just how to manage this. And yes, we have remember that sometimes we can fail or something. We
Mm-hmm.
can make mistakes, and but we don't have to stop our
Mm-hmm.
actions. We must be careful, must be
Mm-hmm.
carefully, and sometimes it is useful just to predict the mm,
Mm-hmm.
bad conclusions of our actions, maybe. And
Mm-hmm.
but also we have to remember, if even if we lose, we got the priceless experience. And also
Yes. Mm-hmm.
also we can get success. Don't forget about success. Sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
can get success, but if we don't do anything in this case, we obviously can't get any success.
Yes. And here I have found a picture of this such ladder. And here you can see that there are some steps of fail, then again fail, then again fail, and then success. So even if we have the fear of losing, but we act, we do something, and even if we fail, but in the end we will have success because we will analyze our failures, and so we will be smarter, or we will learn something, and therefore we will have success in the end. And I liked, yes, again, this recommendation of the rich dad to learn from our failures. And
I,
mhm,
I made some notes. I liked them a lot.
yeah,
Another
yes,
another
please.
another saying in Texas is everyone wants to go
Uh-huh.
heaven, but no one wants to die.
Yes, yes,
Also,
I have also this
also, uh,
saying.
also, I like the next one. I've said that falling off my bike was part of learning to ride,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
they're so at the same. They are to they sound cool and they're wise at the same time.
yes, yeah, I agree. And also about winning. Winning means, maybe you remember what he's, maybe there was not the rich dad who said this phrase, but there was a quote from some, I don't remember, some person who said winning means being unafraid to lose. So even if you have this fear, but still you are not afraid to lose. You may have this fear. It may sound contradictory, but there is no contradiction. So I think that you can have some fear, that you fear to lose, but you're unafraid of losing.
I just
So,
remembered we have
mhm.
something in Russian. To be scared of wolves, it is not to go to forest or волков
Ah,
в лес не ходить.
yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh. Yes,
Э,
something like that.
Здесь раскрывается прям хорошо в таком
Yes,
контексте.
really. Yes, good example. I have never thought of this phrase in Russian, the meaning of this phrase. That is what he is talking about here in this book, in this chapter. Yes,
In this context, it
in this
shows
context.
its
Yes.
beauty and wiseness.
While reading the book in English, we have got the meaning of the Russian saying finally.
Yes, but when I was younger, I didn't price, didn't value, как не ценил, как сказать, I didn't
Yes, estimate, maybe underestimated,
underestimate
недооценивал.
many things, and sometimes I also remember some books which I read when I
Uh-huh.
was a kid, and when I got older, I I see that was a very interesting book. It,
Mm-hmm.
it is Mark Twain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, and sometimes we can meet old things and see new sides of old things, and this is
Mm-hmm.
priceless.
Yes. Agree.
it,
I
it,
agree
it,
with
it
you.
it only
Absolutely.
shows us that things are the same, but we grown up as a person.
Yeah. Things are the same, but we are different now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have changed. Right. Absolutely. Okay. So, so how to handle this, the fear? We are discussing that question. And first, so we learn from our failures. We can have this fear, but still we act, we do something. And even if we lose, we will analyze and learn something. And then in the end, we will have the success. This is the first, so the first step, or the first thing, how to handle the fear. The second is, I liked the difference between winners and losers that he mentioned in the chapter. Do remember that? What was the difference between winners and losers concerning failures?
I
So,
just remember about cynicism. He told about
this is the first obstacle. We will discuss it later. Now we are discussing the fear. So the fear of losing as an obstacle to be financially independent, as Robert says. And he said that the difference between losers and winners concerning failures is that winners are inspired by failures and losers are defeated by them. And as far as I remember, he was telling us about the Alamo in Texas, the story, this battle in Alamo. Uh, I have read it in Wikipedia, and there was a small group of people who
they were
knew.
like rebels or something.
Yes, yes, and they knew that they will fail, and they knew that they will not have success, but still they had this battle, they acted, and they were defeated. But still, the citizens of Texas made it. This failure inspired them to make it like so a kind of a success, that they, in spite of that, they took part in this battle. And remember the Alamo battle, or something like that. Remember about Alamo, they say, in Texas. So the difference between winners and losers is that winners are inspired by failures. Failures inspire them, and that's really not usual for the most of people. We're usually defeated by failures, frankly to speak, frankly to say. We are defeated by failures.
Also, he told us many
Mhm.
examples about in sport. He told us,
Mhm.
could you imagine a professional golf player who is afraid to lose a ball? Also,
Yeah.
it works in sports. You fail, you get failured, and you don't
Mhm.
give up. You train harder, and
Yes.
if you don't stop, if you believe in yourself, if you even
Mhm.
give you a chance, it can get you success.
Yes. And some years ago, I played chess, and there were always some kind of saying that you should play with the competitor who is better than you, and
This
you
is
know you will fail, but it will teach you
lear-
something.
yes, you can learn many things. Yes.
Yes, in sport it also has some meaning, and in real life as well as in sport. And do you think there is any difference between playing not to lose and playing to win? Playing not to lose and playing to win. What is the difference between these phrases, if there is any?
Well, Robert says us that if you want to be a balanced person, you never be rich. And he told us about any examples about Bill Gates, about
Yes.
Miller, maybe, or he named some people, and he told us if you don't taking risks, it is hard to imagine that you will get rich. But we have to remember, taking risks and being reckless, it is not the same.
Yes.
Sometimes you do something, but you have to understand what you
are doing.
do. What are you doing? And you have to be very smart and don't get your emotion to cloud your mind, because yes, you can get a mistake and get in troubles, and you have to remember about it. But let's back to the question. Playing not to lose, it is just you're afraid of everything. You just play very safe, and it decreases your variety
Success results.
You just even not consider many options like an options. Or I won't do that. I won't do this, and that's it.
Well, it was really some kind of surprise for me, because when I was teaching, when I was learning how to invest money, there was a rule, a golden rule, to have few eggs, to save the few eggs in many baskets, in a lot of baskets. And Robert says that you are playing not to lose, you are playing it safe, and you have to play to win. So you have to put a lot of your eggs in few baskets. То есть, как это, много яиц в нескольких корзинах, да, вместо того, чтобы наоборот, обычно наоборот. It really surprised me. And as far as I know, this is a golden rule of investment, to put few eggs in a lot of baskets, just vice versa. And he says that you have to play not to lose, you have to play to win. And poor people are playing not to lose. They put some eggs in many, many baskets. And
it seems to me it is about just we have to define for ourselves this part of money we use for as savings, and this part where we're ready to invest, we're ready to lose if something goes bad. And don't forget about this stuff. It is like an insurance. This part is emergency, this part is for business. Maybe like this.
Yes, I understand the idea you mean. Yes, that depends on the goal that you have, the reason that you're investing, and it will depend. Maybe. Maybe. So he said, put a lot of eggs in few baskets and focus. And what does focus mean? follow
Um,
the course until you have success. Follow follow one course until successful. What that's what it means. Follow one course until successful. So you must follow one course. You must concentrate on this course that you have chosen until it is successful, he said. So therefore you should put a lot of eggs in few baskets.
So it seems to me it is about not to give up early. If you made a mistake, use it as an opportunity for learning. Study hard. Don't give up.
Yes.
He
So
told
follow
us
one.
about that person's. I don't want to fix toilets. When he was talking about opportunities, about business, they didn't see the point at all. They just repeated the same thing, and
Yes.
they wasn't focused. Those people, and they didn't try to immerse in the subject. They didn't try to to learn new. Uh, I again remember that lady in previous lesson, which
Yes.
was a good writer, but he denied an advice about selling courses
Skills of sales. Yes,
and in this case it is just like an ignorance. Even smart people may be ignorant in some points, and in this case people just make themselves their obstacles. They uh, reduce their chances, their opportunities, and that's it. It happens always, and it is useful to be able to see how it happens, to see it in your own life, in your own mindset, and to reduce these obstacles, these problems, and to be able to study, to learn new things, and at the same time be patient to your own mistakes maybe, and to
Yes.
gain as a person, become wiser. And in this case, you one day you meet the same thing as a saying. Before we told about saying, the phrase is the same, but we see new meaning. It always was there, but we couldn't see it before.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Can you say you're focused person? You're a focused man, that you can focus and concentrate. You're able to concentrate. Can you say that about yourself?
Unfortunately, it is hard to say that I'm as person. I always have a lack of attention, maybe
Concentration.
some concentration problems, and
Me too. Me too. And I just wanted to share with you one idea that I have heard not long ago, how to make yourself more concentrated. And this is just some kind of exercise. And this advice was very simple. So the idea is to do only one thing per day. For example, you choose something, you focus only on one goal, one thing, or one deal per day. For example, you read a book and you do it every day, you do only one reading, so to say, of this book, and you read it every day only once. And for the whole day, you can do anything you like. And they say that this will help you to be more concentrated if you just try to do only one thing per day. I haven't tried it yet, but I liked the idea and I remembered it because I also have some problems with concentration, and this really, I think this is a very, very important quality and ability to concentrate and to focus on one cause. Yes, just about concentration. And the last question. So how do you respond to failure? You personally, how do you respond to failure if you lose something or you fail or you make mistake? How do you respond to this mistake or failure?
Well, usually if something goes bad, if I usually my response is quite emotional. I become upset.
Yes.
I become sometimes even miserable, and
Yes.
it is not the best way for responding, but I hope one day
yes.
I learn how to manage this issue, and
Yes.
I hope I find the way how to be able to
I think this is our habit because we are used to respond to failures like that from our childhood when we were at school or when our parents told us something about failures that it is bad to make mistakes and you are so bad person, you are a bad child. And and in our mind there is some kind of habit. We are used to respond to failures like that because as for me, just the same, I'm very upset. I feel really bad and disappointed, and it doesn't inspire me at all. And I'm defeated instead of inspired. So by failures, and I think we just have to change our mind and to make it from the bad habit to be defeated by failures. We have to make it a habit to be inspired by failures, to change our mind, but it will take time. We have to do it several times, several so situations when we we have inspiration and we learn something and we just change our attitude and change our mind, and it will take time, not so fast as we would like to. Okay, let's continue the next obstacle, that it is about Chicken Little and doubts. So he told us like cynicism, but I think the better word would be doubts, because doubts or pessimism. Because for me, cynic is something different, not like it was in this paragraph about Chicken Little. So, are doubts dangerous or useful? What do you think? Are they dangerous or are they useful? When we have some doubts inside, and this what if game, what if this happens, what if that happens, sky is falling, save your life. and run and all these things. Are they dangerous or are they useful? What do you think?
It seems to me that it is obvious. We don't have to ignore our doubts, but also we have to remember that it is just it is like predictions. It may not happen. It may not happen, and we don't have blindly forget about doubts and to be and also we don't have to be too gullible to our doubts. It is just thoughts. These things didn't happen yet, and sometimes our doubts paralyzes us.
Yes.
And in this case, they are like our enemies. They are the main source of our problems. But
Yeah.
if we overconfident, if we very too confident maybe, or too brave, or don't forget about any risks, if we vice versa, if we forget about any risk, we can get in very deep problems. And
Yes.
so we have to manage with these doubts, and for this we have to develop some particular skills.
Yes. And what are the skills that we have to develop inside? You mean to manage the doubts?
Yes, it is. Those skills, it is being patient, being wise, and being smart. Some positive mindset. In this case, positive. It is not like about always everything is happy. It is always happy end happens and so on. Yeah, no. It is positive. In this case, if we got a mistake, let's как-то там говорили, let's discuss, let's not discuss, let's study hard, let's make this failure like an inspiration. It is it is like a priceless experience in any case. We act, we did something, we had a result. Let's check how it gone, how it passed, which steps were not right, which steps were risky or stupid maybe, and after that maybe let's try again, maybe we can do better. Sometimes even we got from one step to success, or maybe just think, not punish yourself, and many other things.
Yes. So again, doubts as the fear of losing are dangerous because we miss the opportunities. We just don't do anything. We just stop. We have many doubts and just miss the opportunity that we have in the moment. Therefore, they are very dangerous, but sometimes maybe they can be useful because they make us not to be just reckless and do something without any analysis. And Robert told us about this Chicken Little who shouted and cried, "Sky's falling, save your lives, run," somewhere in the cartoon. and he said that Chicken Little is very effective because inside all of us there are such Chicken Little inside everyone, and therefore it is really very effective when such thoughts come into our mind, or from some people, from our friends or colleagues or anyone, and they are very effective, and they influence us, influence our mind, and we just stop doing anything. And I like this example of his friend who was buying the house, who wanted to buy a house, but in the last moment he denied because somebody told him that this is not the right price, and he just denied and stopped the deal, finished the deal with the house. And he was like that Chicken Little who had very many doubts inside. And I liked the method of how to manage the doubts. And he said, unchecked doubts and fear create cynics. What's the difference between cynics and winners? What was this method? Do you remember this method to how to manage the doubts you have and how to handle them?
Well, it seems to me he told us about analyze before. He told us cynicism. They don't do anything. They criticize,
Yes,
but they
yes,
didn't even analyze.
yes,
Everything is bad, but I don't know why it is. I didn't check, but it is always a stupid idea. I didn't try, but you don't have to do this. It is like this. Uh, also, when you told about this story, somebody wanted to buy real estate, and that person had a conversation with his neighbor, and his neighbor told him to change his mind. And when Robert asked him, was that person an investor? No, he wasn't, but he liked to share his priceless opinion, but it was just like rumors, just
It was
incompetent
Chicken
thoughts.
Little. It was this doubts inside of him that
Yes,
something
yes,
will
and he even didn't admit that it is his own doubts, but
happen.
he made his neighbor responsible for this
Yes,
this
right.
action. And
Yes, absolutely.
uh, also there was another example about some gas station, but I didn't get it unfortunately.
Ah, yes, I remember, and I got the idea because this person who was like this Chicken Little and was saying, "Oh, the price for the gas is going higher and higher." So he was like, he had a fear that he will pay more, and he was just some kind of cynic who didn't open his mind, and Robert was the winner who opened his mind and saw if the price of the gas of oil is going higher, then he will buy the stocks of the oil company because they will go higher as well. And so he was the first person, the driver was like, sky's falling, everything is bad, oh, the prices are higher and higher, are going higher. And Robert saw the opportunity. If the price goes higher, okay, I will buy the stocks of the company that finds some oil in the ground. And he bought the stocks, and the price was twice or even 3 times higher. I don't remember. So that is the idea. One person sees tragedy, and another person sees opportunity in this tragedy or in this crisis. That was the idea, I think. I don't once hold the key to your success, said the rich dad. What did he mean? I don't once hold the key to your success. There was a situation with this: I don't want to fix the toilet, I don't want to do something. And these cynics, they always say, I don't want this, I don't want that, and therefore I will not do anything. But the rich dad said, if you have some I don't wants, I don't want to do something, then this is a key to your success. You have to find the manager who will fix the toilet, who will manage the house that you buy, the real estate, and you will have time to invest and do something else. Therefore, he said, I don't once hold the key to your success. That was just the phrase in the chapter. And the last question: if you are in doubt, what should you do? So, for example, imagine some situation that you have some, you have to make some decision and you have doubts inside or outside from some people. Don't do that. That is wrong. The prices are higher, the inflation or something else. What should you do?
Well, I can't recall what he taught about this in the book, but I want to tell my personal thoughts.
Yes.
Sometimes if our doubts are too strong, they are able to make us blind and even stupid. And in this case, it seems like it is better to get in normal condition before, when you and after that you can find a better solution. It's in contrast to if you act under those emotions, maybe.
And do remember this Colonel Sanders, who in his 66, as far as I remember, so in some very old age, he became a very rich man because he tried to sell his receipt of a fried chicken many times, and he was denied. Nobody accepted his receipt, but still he was tenacious, and finally he sold his receipt and he became a rich man. So Robert said, if you are in doubt, fry your chicken. If your chicken little inside is telling you something, just fry it. Like this Colonel Sanders did. So it means be tenacious. So do something many times. Focus on your course. That was his advice to handle the doubt.
Also, I remembered, if your life gives you lemons, make lemonade or something.
Yes.
Once I have watched a documentary or something about this colonel. It is a founder of Kiyosaki. Is he?
Yes.
And he was a military, and after that he got retired. Retired.
Yeah, retired.
and he wanted to do something. He didn't want to just sit at home, and he just
Uh-huh.
remembered his old granny recipe, unique recipe
Mm.
about how to fry a delicious chicken, and
Uh-huh.
he just wanted to to run a cafe maybe or something, and he went to the bank and asked for money, and that
Uh-huh.
people just thought some old person came to us, we don't want to give him money, he don't know how to manage them properly, and they told him uh, politely, no sir, excuse me, we can't give you money. And after
Mhm.
that, after many steps, he made a perfect business plan for ensure that bankers for giving him money. Here he made a very perfect business plan, and in many details he described how many people must work in his cafe, how in which price we have to buy raw meat, maybe
Mm.
some ingredients, how much we have to pay for bills, how much we have to spend money for stoves, for tables, spoons,
Mhm.
and everything. And after that many efforts, he became like a business professional, like
Mm.
a perfect manager. He proved them. He's able to spend money carefully,
Mhm.
properly. And after that, when the bank gave him money, he was already prepared as a unique professional, and his as we already known, his business became successful because
Yes.
maybe I just imagine if they give him money for the first time, maybe he couldn't became so perfect owner. Maybe
Uh-huh.
uh,
Yes.
uh, there is such a thing, a business plan, a roadmap. If you
Mhm.
if you did one the first step and it was successful, it doesn't mean that you are know what you know what to do next. But in this
Mhm.
story about Colonel, he was forced to do such a perfect, such a
Mhm.
uh, smart plan, business plan.
Yes.
About rent for landlord or for land, ну, аренду, как это правильно?
Owner.
В
Owner?
общем, а я уж не позабыл, не знаю.
Uh-huh. That's
Well,
okay.
as a result, we see mm, a story about success, but maybe in other conditions it could be story about not success, but about failure.
Mhm. Yes. And he had many failures before he had success. So a lot of his investors, potential investors, denied his offer, and they didn't accept it. So he had heard no many times, and he failed many times in his attempts to sell his receipt.
Maybe I forget many other important details,
Mhm.
but in that days when I watched that documentary, the main idea was about making his business plan, and
Mm.
that's why he had obstacles, he had problems, and after every time he sat down on his table and he developed his plan carefully, more carefully every single time, and his digits, his calculations were at the results were perfect. He and when one day
Mhm.
came to the bank and they took his notes, and he make them assure that the business will work perfectly, something like this. And because he found out about prices, about locations, about how much he have to pay to workers, and so on, so on, so on.
Yes, so he had a detailed business plan for that, not only the idea. Yes. Okay, thank you for the story. So let's go further, and our next obstacle is laziness. Maybe you remember he said about laziness by staying busy. And he said, if you stay busy, it means you are lazy, you have a lazy mind in something. So you don't want to face something, and you're lazy by staying busy. So how can it be possible?
Well,
Do you agree with that?
it comes into my mind. We have discussed in previous lessons about about old dogs who can't teach new tricks.
New tricks.
And also I told about people which work on the same place for 30, 40 years, and they proud of it. But at the same time, they hate their work, they hate their coworkers, they hate their low salary. But it seems to me this is the perfect picture which describes this statement.
Yes, by the way, absolutely, I agree.
Maybe
That
it is like exaggeration or something. Maybe I'm not perfectly understood the idea, but it seems to me like this.
Yes, so it can be really possible that a person is doing something because he doesn't want to do something different, and he's staying busy because he's lazy in something else, or maybe he doesn't want to face it or to handle it. His mind is lazy.
Yes, those people like to say, they teach me so. Ну, так нас учили, кто на что учился. I don't know how to say it in English,
Yes,
unfortunately. But
we would talk like that.
sometimes it shows such a bad mindset of those people. Sometimes those people are kind, are polite, and
Yeah.
you like those people, but at the same time it freaks you out because they even don't try to make their life better. And that's it. It is like a personal stuff for me. And I remember many people like this who much older than me, and they met bad attitude from manager, from boss. They are hard workers, they are reliable people, but they didn't get a good attitude to them. And at the same time, they even don't try, they don't believe in themselves, and it is such a miserable thing.
Yes.
And this, I always personally, I always emotionally react when I remember this, when I tell about this. And at that moment, I hated them, and I hated myself because in some way I was similar to them. And I
Yes.
just wanted to change those things. It is not easy, but if you
Not
didn't
easy.
even didn't try, it is bad. And also,
Yes.
it is such a horrible thing when, also, as I told before, those people have many good traits, many good traits, yeah? Черты. Traits?
Traces. Это следы, да?
Если,
Черты.
например, черты характера, вот как мы это говорим, я забыл. Not traits, not traits.
Traits, right.
Traits,
Traits.
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 Those people sometimes have good traits, but at the same time, they don't. If they see somebody had success, they just start to jealous. Sometimes even tell bad things about those people. It is not perfect. It's not perfect.
Yes.
Well, let's back to the question. That's why I think this statement about this laziness by standing. I'm not unemployed. I go to work. I do my work properly, but they just don't pay me enough. It is just about situation. What we have, there is nothing we had to do, or they just justify their actions. They just justify and don't try to. It is, yes, we remember it is not a miracle. Just snap your fingers and change everything immediately. But sometimes, if you don't try, you obviously you can't change things.
Yes, it is the child position to not to take responsibility, and everybody else, the obstacles, the circumstances, the boss, the life is like that, not me, and I can't change anything, and that is the position of a child.
There is such an interesting thing in psychology. It is like a second advantages. I don't know how to say it. Вторичные выгоды.
Yes.
Of it is obviously I'm not a psychologist. Maybe I don't understand these definitions perfectly, but it seems to me it is exactly about this situation.
Right.
Because it is every people have fear about changings, about everybody know how many efforts we have to spend for changings, but their advantages, it is I don't do anything, and in this case I'm able to justify myself, and that's it. Everybody lives like me. Nobody, it is not a problem or something else.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right about this secondary advantage. Maybe I will find this secondary benefits, secondary gains. Yes, that is right about that.
Also, it is like I'm a victim. Everybody have to cheer me or something. I'm a poor person. Let's hug me. And sometimes you want to support somebody, but if you see it doesn't take any results, and in this case it freaks you out, and you finally think, why you like living like this? Get back of me.
Right. And the first step is just to admit it, that
yes, because if you name the things properly, it helps you. It is able to help you to just find a solution. If you admit it as a problem, you start to think how to solve it.
Yes, and so I liked this words that both dads said if they could not afford something, if they are lack of money to buy something, or they don't have enough money to buy or to pay for something. What are the words that both dads said to their children? Do you remember this words? that if they cannot afford something, what did the rich dad say, and what did the poor dad say to their children?
It seems to me I didn't read this part, unfortunately.
Okay, there was a saying or the phrase from the poor dad, as we hear it from our parents. We want to, as a child, we want to buy something, and our parents used to tell us, we can't afford it, we can't afford that. And the rich dad said to his children, how can you afford it? So these are quite different positions. I think when you ask a question, how can you afford it, it just turns on, in the child's mind, it turns on the imaginations or some emotions or some abilities. How can he reach this? How can he afford it? And these are really good question to ask our children, not to say we can't afford it, we can't buy it, we don't have money, but to say how can we buy it, how can we afford it, how can we earn money and buy this, pay for this.
In this case, the word how gives an opportunity.
Yes, right.
And it shows us it is possible to do. We just have to do it somehow. It is more positive mindset.
Yes, it gives us, yes, the opportunity and some kind of kick. It kicks us to think and to do something, not to just stop the opportunity, stop the possibility to do something. Yes,
the first statement tells, forget about it, you can do it.
Yes.
The second statement tells us, yes, it is possible, but we have to do something for this. Don't give up.
Yes, and also Robert says that it develops our spirit. Such kind of mindset develops our spirit, and there is a conflict between our spirit and our lazy mind, because when we hear this phrase, I can't do something, I can't have something. Even if we hear this phrase, inside us there is a spirit that says, I can do it, I can have it, I can make it. And there is a conflict between this lazy mind that is telling us that you cannot do it, you cannot afford it, and our spirit that is always inspires us to do something, to reach our goals, and to have the result, and not to stop, not to finish. And there's a last question about laziness. So how do you beat your laziness? Maybe you have some rule or maybe some habits how to beat your laziness, if you have, of course.
Well, it is very complicated question for me, and sometimes this topic became very popular these days, and I usually met videos dedicated this topic on the YouTube. Sometimes I watched those videos, and there are many opinions about this topic, and I want to sum up my personal thoughts about this.
Yes.
Well, we're all people. We're not machines. We're not computers. We don't have limitless power, and it is okay. and sometimes we have to mm, be careful to ourselves. Sometimes we have a lot of energy, we're hardworking, but
Hmm.
if we lose this energy, maybe
In vain.
reckless, maybe forget about having rest, we can lose all of our energy, and in this case our productivity is extremely low, and
Hmm.
we just can't do even anything. We wake up badly, we don't want to do anything, we don't
Hmm.
want to eat. Well, also, as we told before, there are a lot of situations when people don't even do anything at all.
Hmm.
So, uh, what is the answer? What is the solution?
So
Uh,
in the chapter, Robert offered that if you want to beat laziness, you have to have some portion of greed. A small portion of greed is the solution, is the decision in this obstacle, how to overcome laziness. You have to have some portion of greed. But when I was reading, frankly speaking, I can't agree with him because he said there must be a small portion of greed, not a lot of greed. A lot of greed, much greed is very dangerous and is not good, but you have to have some small portion of greed. Well, on the one side, I can agree with that because I know that I have read before about the laziness and the lazy person that there is not such concept as laziness, because this is a maybe idea from philosophy, that or maybe psychology, I don't know, but uh, the idea is that if you have a desire, you will not have laziness at all. If you have a desire to do something, to reach some goal, or to make something, to make what you want, if you have a strong desire, you will not have any laziness. If you have laziness, it means you don't want to do this, you don't have a desire. Maybe this was the idea what Robert was trying to say in his book. He was saying about greed. That is the how to overcome this laziness. You must be a bit greedy. So maybe he meant that you have to have some desire to do something. Uh, that that is what about laziness. And the last thing, the last obstacle, bad habits. Not the last, but wait. Так, что-то я нажала тут. Yes, bad habits. So our life is a reflection of our habits more than our education. Our life is a reflection of our habits more than our education. Do you agree with that?
yes, it has sense, and uh, the and also in this this thought in this shape is this thought in this shape looks very interesting.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? What shape?
uh, I mean, in this particular definition, in this
Uh-huh.
particular description, many things
Mm-hmm.
looks very maybe obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Так, сейчас я тут выключилась.
Of course, it reminds. It is like an idea. Every person has a direction in it, and after that, every person choose tools for get this direction. And education, if we consider education as a tool, as an opportunity, not as a destination. Reflection of our habits.
Yes. So maybe we can be educated person, but still have bad habits, and it will influence our life, our style of life, our lifestyle, and our life is a really reflection of the habits we have. And the rich dad had the habit to pay himself first. So as you know, in America, they pay the bills. So it means they pay the taxes to the government and to some services like health taxes and other. And the rich dad paid himself first, and only in the end he paid taxes, he paid the bills. But the majority of people do just vice versa. So they pay taxes, they pay the bills, and then if some money are left, they pay themselves. And the rich dad said that this habit makes some pressure, and this pressure that he should pay to the government, he should pay the bills, he should pay taxes, this pressure is his motivation. And so this is I have never thought about such motivation, that the fear or the pressure from the government that you should pay the taxes, you should pay the bills, can be the motivation. And the rich dad said that this is his best motivation. If he knows that he should pay the bills, and he's trying to search some ways to earn money, and he used this pressure as inspiration, as a motivation for himself. And I have a question here. What habits of the rich do you know? Maybe you know some habits of the rich people. What habits of the rich do you know? Maybe you know some.
Well, there was some examples in one of the first chapters of the book. Just I have to try to remember. Maybe I can see something in my notebook. I can't remember, unfortunately. There was something about don't spend your money immediately, or about luxury things, they're not necessary, or when you finally became a person who can easily buy expensive luxury things, you buy it only at this time, but it is not so important to show off your money immediately. It is just one of, also maybe something like life healthcare is important. Don't forget about healthcare. Maybe something.
Yes, there was a habit to build an asset column first that will bring you a cash flow, and only then after that you buy some these luxury things like cars or houses. That is the habit that we discussed before. Yes, I understand what you mean. And I mean just some very simple habits like to get up early in the morning, and they say that is the habit of the rich. If you get up early, and all familiar people and rich people, they get up early in the morning, and for example, to have plans for the day. For each day you have some plans, you write down your plans, or for example, you write down your goals. Each day you write down what are your goals for this day, and you follow them. You follow this course. That are some habits, but I think that they also must be reasonable, so to say. So you have to know why you get up early, because if you just get up early, you will not be rich only because you're getting up early. That is not the habit itself, but the reason, the aim that you have. Why are you getting up early? What are you doing during this early time? And I think we can just take this habit from the rich dad to ask how I can afford it, or how can I do it, instead of I can't do it. That is also a very good habit to change that will change our life. And okay, the last obstacle that we were reading in the chapter was arrogance. So the rich dad said, every time I have been arrogant, I have lost money. And what is arrogant? How do you think? What does it mean to be arrogant?
Well, as I remember definition of the word, it is like to be the picture shows us perfectly what it is. I just tried to describe on my words, but after that I remember this picture. The picture is perfect. Okay, if somebody starts overestimate his skills and underestimates everybody else, and this is like a broken optic. It is like stuff when you became a blind person, but not only you made mistakes when you make mistakes, but also people around you think you are a rude person, and they don't want to deal with you again. Every time I have been arrogant, I have lost money. Well, as I said,
in Russian it will be высокомерный. In Russian,
высокомерный.
Высокомерный, but even if I say высокомерный, I can't really understand the meaning. What does it mean? То есть высоко меряет. The arrogant person. So in the book, in the chapter, I liked the definition that Robert used. He said, this is a person who is not lying, but he's not telling the truth. So he's not lying. He's not lying, but still he's not telling the truth. And he said about some kind of people who, for example, investors or accountants, and when Robert has a conversation with such person, this person is not telling him the truth, that he doesn't know how to do this deal or that deal, how to make the better decision. So he's arrogant, and therefore he's not lying, to Robert, but he's not telling the truth. So he says, yes, I know that. Maybe we will do that or that. But in reality, he doesn't know how to do it because his lack of knowledge, his lack of experience, but he's arrogant and he can't admit he doesn't know something. He can't tell the truth. That is the definition that was in the chapter. And he said many people use arrogance to try to hide their own ignorance. So they use arrogance because they want to hide their own ignorance, that they are ignorant of something, they don't know something, their lack of knowledge, and therefore they're arrogant. They are trying to show, yes, I know this, but in reality they don't know this. And to be sincere, sometimes I behave like that. I don't know something, but I can't say the truth. I'm not lying, but I don't say the truth in some situations because I don't want to be such ignorant person, and so that people wouldn't say, oh, she doesn't know that. But Robert says that in that situation, you will lose money because why, by the way? What do you think? Why it is dangerous to be active?
Because he, as you told before, he didn't admit.
Yes.
He pretend to be like smart again, and
Yes.
in this case, people in these conditions get in situation when they are weak. They don't know how to do. They don't know what to expect. And in this case, they play the game, but they don't know the rules.
Yes.
Something like this.
Why it is bad? Why it is dangerous? And why it is not good for them?
Because, well, I didn't read this part, and in this case, my behavior exactly shows I do what we're talking about. I don't know what to say, but I try to pretend that I know how to explain this.
Yes. So he said that this is dangerous because the person doesn't admit that he's ignorant in this sphere, for example. And if he admits, if he says, I don't know that, and he will search for the information, he will learn, he will try to find the answer. But in case he's ignorant, he will not do it. He will just stay in his ignorance because he doesn't admit he is ignorant. And that's what Robert meant by arrogance. That is the obstacle, that you will not be able to learn because you are arrogant. You think that you know better, but in reality, you are ignorant. That is the obstacle to be financially independent. So the conclusion is we should tell the truth. So we should be precise and tell the truth. If we are ignorant, if we don't know anything, don't know something, we should just admit and say that, yes, I don't know it, but I will find out. I will try to solve this. I will try to search for the information or for some details, some facts, and I will learn. So arrogance makes you not possible for learning because you think you know, and you know everything. That is the problem. So these were five obstacles for being financially independent. So maybe, what do you think about just reading the chapter? Maybe we will have 2 weeks instead of 1 week for reading a chapter. Maybe 1 week is not enough. Enough time for reading one chapter.
Well, it seems to me 2 weeks it is a very big gap, and we can forget everything for 2 weeks. Sometimes we met very long chapters, and there are a lot of thoughts. There are a lot of text, and
Yes.
Sometimes it happens when I can't read the whole chapter. But even in this case, our lessons are very useful because sometimes I want to say something, and I also like to listen to others. And while other people saying, I listen to them, I think, and it is very useful.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't know what to say at the beginning of the lesson, but when it starts, when
Yeah.
we have some warm up, we just our brain starts working. Start working.
Starts
working. So забыл. Well,
Okay.
I think 2 weeks it is a very big gap, and it will be bad.
Okay, so maybe you need some time to read this chapter till the end, because we have this is the chapter number 7, and we have chapter 8 and chapter 9, and the book will finish. So 2 chapters are left. Only 2 chapters are left, and maybe you will need time to read the chapter 7 till the end. No, you don't.
I just want to yeah, I read about more than half of chapter, but
Okay.
on the lesson we have discussed more things. I don't know. Do I need to reread
Okay.
it again?
No, just I'm asking if you need. If you don't need, that's okay. So we will continue next time from the chapter 8. And also, please tell me about your schedule for the next week. Okay?
Okay, I will send you a little bit later